Hey,
Good morning, Adam. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. Let me see if we're live here real quick. Get this shared
We
out to
are
a few places. We are
indeed.
exciting.
Yeah.
Want to end the week with some positive news. I know you had started a podcast and you got a lot of outstanding stuff going on. And I saw that you had made a post about growing 600% since joining eXp within like 3 years or something around there. So I wanted
Yes.
I wanted to hop on live. I mean, you're part of my tribe. I think you're on my second level partnership. So I wanted to be able to get your story out there and learn a little bit about your journey and how you've been able to do it with us. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit this. But what market are you in? Maybe tell them a little bit about yourself. Obviously, I know you. Your husband Corey, you guys are outstanding entrepreneurs and people. But where are you guys from? Tell me just a little bit about you, real quick, while I share this link out.
Yes. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Rosemary Lewis, and I am real estate agent serving the far north Dallas area.
Mhm.
So, I am originally from Chicago, as Adam stated. My husband and I, we relocated here 7 years ago to the Dallas area, and we knew zero people. Like, actually, we kind
Zero.
of we kind of knew one girl. Um,
Okay.
but other than that, and we came from, weren't running from anything. We came from very strong roots in Chicago,
Mhm.
but knew that there was a different life for us to live, right? And we didn't know what that would look like, but we just decided to do it scared. And, to keep up with the momentum, I was an elementary school teacher for 14 years. My
Uh,
husband has always been in real estate.
mhm.
And always encouraged me to step out, but I was not interested. I was not interested in not having a dependable check, insurance, all the things. But 4 years ago, stepped out, and my mind is literally blown with the opportunity, the people I've been able to serve, the partners like Adam I've been able to collaborate with, and just now how I get to serve on a high level. So that's it in a nutshell.
I mean, that's a big leap going from a teacher to now you're going to have to make some prospecting calls.
Oh yeah.
What is data management, right?
Just
Like,
all things that I didn't consider when I quit my job.
right. Well, when you posted, um, the 600% growth in the X amount of time, I had said congratulations, and you're like, I do the hard stuff, right? And that's what
Hmm.
people don't really understand when they get in and they just think it's going to be easier like it is on TV or whatever your perception was as a teacher, right? So and you had to eat the frog in the morning and get the hard stuff done. So you and Corey moved to Dallas. You knew there had to be a better life outside of Chicago. Did you ever teach in Dallas, or when you made the move
Yeah.
from? Okay, so you actually taught in Dallas as well. So
Yeah.
what was it like? Like, did you join a little boutique brokerage? Like, how many years were you an agent from leaving your teacher job before you hopped in? With
Yeah.
us with XP.
So y'all, in my first year as an agent, I went to 4 brokerages.
Four brokerages in 1 year. What were you looking for?
I don't know. Okay, so just coming in, my husband, who is on the investment side,
Mm-hmm.
he was a part of a brokerage
Mm-hmm.
where that kind of gave him the leverage to do his investment deal. They were very lenient and they targeted investors.
Right.
And I just coming into the business, I immediately joined that brokerage with him,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, yeah, this isn't a good fit.
Right.
So then I went to a boutique brokerage,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know it at the time, right? I was 2 to 3 months in, and I was getting, I had maybe 2 to 3 deals pending under contract,
Yeah.
um, moving towards closing, and I didn't know that that wasn't normal for newer agents, right? And I just really at that brokerage, while they had some tools and some things that were appealing, it was 100% brokerage, so. At that time, I was of the mindset of I want to keep all my money, and I've heard you say 100% of nothing is nothing, right? So I got to the point where I was getting things under contract, but I was falling on my face. Didn't know how to structure a conversation with a lead. Didn't really knew that I needed coaching, knew that I needed accountability.
Right.
And then I came in contact with our other partner, Tierney.
Uh-huh.
Tierney invited me to be a part of her team, which was a whole different, like, mindset. I wasn't thinking that way.
Right.
And then when I was with Tierney, we were with a different brokerage. And a month into being on her team, she was like, ooh, because I didn't want to join her team because I was like, I've already been to 2 brokerages, you know. But she was like, no, you know, it'll be fine. And then a month later, she was like, ooh, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
Part of eXp. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm happy to say, although it seemed like I was flaky in the beginning, I have been with eXp and been very happy there for 3 years, even after I no longer was a
Right.
part of the.
It's a two-pronged thing there to see it work in a beautiful way. Obviously, you know, I've built, you know, teams at the highest level. Our brokerage, you know, as an independent was framed like the team. And I believe all new agents need to start out on a team. So when you're like, oh, I want to keep 100% or just pay, you know, the bare minimum, still 100% of nothing, like what you said, is nothing, right? So I think being able to go on a team, you know, give up, you know, splits to be able to get leads, understand systems, leadership processes, just get deals under your belt, you know, because you get about 25, 50 deals. It's like, okay, I know how to read a HUD statement, right? I know how to, you know, set expectations on repair requests or go to bat for them, right? So yeah, you know, it's crazy. You joined Tierney's team. We got the deal done. We launched with her. How long were you on the team for?
I was on the team for about a year, over a year, not quite a year and a half, but I was like a year and 4 months, something like that.
So that is a natural nutrition time that I've seen running teams, coaching teams. Even, I mean, we have 1,700 agents in our network, and a lot of them are definitely teams. That 18 to 24 month mark is about where they're going to graduate to want to put their name on the sign, risk some of their own money to keep more of their own money. You know, they're just going to be a little more self-sufficient if they are entrepreneur minded and they have a growth mindset, right? So you were about on natural tracking to actually graduate from the team, right? So in the old model, you would have just bounced out in the brokerage yourself, or, you know, broker hopped again, or went out and been independent or whatever, right? But instead, now you went from, you know, Tierney and, you know, working in the network, you really went from, you know, somebody you see as a boss or a team lead or a coach or accountability person to you, to now like you're an as equal, right? Like now we're in financial alignment and in a true partnership to help you grow and flourish, right? To build your own brand and what you've been able to build. So to be able to see people swing from that traditional team into the modern team, to be self-sufficient, to be able to get this to duplicate for themselves. And then you're also attracting other people and helping them duplicate what you've been learning. So I love to see that working in the model the way it needed to work in the model to fix retention issues, right? Exactly. So, okay. So what year did you step out on your own? So if we moved over, so you've been running on your own for probably about a year and a half now, maybe 2 years.
2 years. I've been running on my own since 2019. I think in January 2019 is when the transition.
Okay, so this is where the rubber meets the road, right? This is where people crash and burn, or this is where they excel. So, you know, let's talk about stepping out on your own. Let's talk about the pros. Let's talk about the cons, and let's talk about how you grew by 600% in production within this 3-year mark. So, stepping out on your own, what did it look like?
You know what? So what it looked like for me, the team, and I agree with you, was a great fit for me, right? In terms of, I didn't know what I didn't know. And I think that even now I am, you know, I have a lot of conversations with agents and I'm like, man, if you would just partner with the right team or in a network similar to ours, it would grow you, because a lot of times you just don't know what you don't know. So, but when it came time, and Tierney, when I first joined the team, she said there will come a point where you outgrow the opportunity, and you know, naturally that happened. But now I thought that I was being thoughtful about it, because I sat with different team leaders. I sat with people who had left teams to just see, you know, kind of where was the holes, what did you think? And I sat with a team leader, a different team leader within eXp, quite honestly, that I have become acquainted with because we were in the brokerage. And I just, you know, had a conversation to say, when people leave your team, where do you see them leave too early? Like what do you, and I was grateful for that, because I got to get the perspective from a different team leader based on what she saw when her people would leave, right? So kept all of that in mind. So what I had a unique opportunity to do is on the team that I was on, the way we generated leads, it was very hard for me, but I learned to do hard things. I learned to get uncomfortable.
Right.
And learning to get uncomfortable and learning the craft of the business, I had to decide now, okay, what parts of that, because you can do real estate in so many ways. So I got to see it done on that level. What parts of that am I going to take? What am I going to bring to it? And more than anything, I got an opportunity to see how to run this as a business. So long story short,
Right.
you know, I just took what I knew, how to structure a call. I took it took some while for me to figure out, okay, I don't have this lead source because we had a large database with the team.
Mhm.
So, am I going to, I have to prioritize my money making hours. So am I going to cold call? Am I going to use internet marketing? Am I going to work my sphere? So there was some time where I really kind of was like, what in the heck am I doing? I made a mistake.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I was getting traction. And that's when I really learned, because I didn't have that same type of accountability. I really learned to time block, to master my time, to really be super hyper focused on the business, but also hyper focused on being a mom and a wife, because I'm not just Rosemary the realtor. Like that the business can look like that for me. So spending time and figuring that out, taking what I learned from my coaches and mentors like yourself, and then bringing my own spin to it has given me numbers beyond what I thought possible. Like when I quit teaching, I thought if I could replace my teaching salary, I would be good.
All right.
Right. So to have 6-figure months, it's like, what? And I'm just
Hold on,
grateful.
hold on. What did you say? 6-figure what?
Months.
And was you even making that in a year as a teacher?
No, no, I was not.
Uh,
And doing business the way I want to do it, that I love. You know what I mean? Like I'm not doing business at the sacrifice of my marriage, again, at the sacrifice, and really attracting clients that I love to work with. So I'm just very grateful to God for what He's allowed.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. That whole package for sure. I'll kind of go back and dig into. You were overwhelmed with all these decisions, so I want to know what was the first step, and then maybe what your business looks like now, like out of that whole toolbox and selection. Like, what did you start with first? But I do want to give you kudos with. I've known you and Corey for almost the whole time I've been at eXp, because you guys pretty much launched with one of my first partners or teams with me, right? So it's not like you have one kid. Like I have my 6-year-old son with me this week, and he's on summer breaker, and keeping up with one kid is tough. Like how many kids do you guys have? You have like 3?
No, we have 2. Don't give me more. Well, we have a dog, so
Okay.
that dog.
3. Okay. And you and Corey have been together for how long?
So Corey and I met in 1995.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is our 26th year together.
Yeah.
But we've been married. This year will be 15 years married.
Yeah. I applaud that, and I appreciate that, because when you got to know me early on in building eXp, I sacrificed a lot to get out of my opportunity, and I sacrificed a lot to get eXp up and going. And it cost me a 20-year relationship, right? And so you like watched me early on deal with that. And so I'm very sensitive to how I coach my young entrepreneurs, how they handle their family. I wish I would have got to eXp sooner. I mean, without a doubt. I'm not saying it would have saved everything I had, but however, it would have made me would have made me prioritize my time a little better with the type of residual income that I'm making, and how we're closing hundreds of houses a month right now. It's just wild to me, and in 5 different countries. So first of all, congratulations with keeping your family together, growing by what you're doing, being a great wife, being a good mother. Now you're overwhelmed with all these business decisions, lead gen, prospecting, Spear. What's your brand going to look like? All of these different things and decisions that you had to make. Which way did you start out with when you swung off from the team into from the traditional team to the modern team? Was it internet leads? Did you start generating leads on KV Core? Did you add another piece of software? Did you just exhaust your Spear? Like, help me understand what that process looked like when you first stepped out.
Yeah, I realized that I had to stop. And I hesitate to say this sometimes because I don't want new agents to get off the hook, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had to stop cold calling. But
You had to.
I had to stop cold calling.
Yep. Stop cold calling.
Had to stop. But I'm grateful for the experience of cold calling because it got me comfortable being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And it was one of those things where if I could, get someone on the phone who didn't know anything about me,
Mm-hmm.
if I had enough market knowledge, if I could structure a call, all the things that we learned, get in front of them, secure the listing and get it to closing,
Mm-hmm.
then for sure, if you refer me your cousin who is coming to me a little warmer, then I definitely should be able to build a business around that. So for a little while, I was investing in like, expireds, and I was investing in cold realty, to try to do circle prospecting around open houses. Open houses have always been a favorite form for me. But then I was like, you know what? I need to put my marketing dollars behind really loving on my sphere, really loving on my past clients, really, bumping up my social media. And I understood, like, I really looked at who did I follow on social media? I didn't just follow people that talked about real estate all the time. Follow people who talked about their lives, who let you in, who showed you, the good and the bad. And once I started shifting my business to authentically being who I am, but still, like, for my money making hours, I'm still generating or attracting leads. It just looks different because to one person it may look like being social,
Yeah.
right? But in my socialization, I'm looking to have real estate conversations. I still use the same scripts you taught me, learning how to structure those calls. And from that and just showing up as me, it's been able to, now I tell people all the time, I no longer lead generate, I lead attract.
Well, I appreciate that. And they're not really scripts. We teach you, you keep saying structure calls because we teach you intros depending on the psychology of the lead, structure calls. We have optimized closing formulas that allow you to use their natural language. So they're taking action off of their keywords, right? And if they like you, trust you, and believe in you, and you're being authentic, how can they not take you up on your offer if you have articulated what their net experience is going to be in a very vibrant way? So I love that. So you're running around with a bunch of marketers. You have access to all these team builders. You're seeing all like how we're generating thousands of leads every month for all these different teams and top agent experts. So you're just like, hey, I need to cut out the bullshit, even though we have like 50, 60 ISAs and I'm known for building call centers and we're very outbound with our approach. But what people don't understand is we're reaching out to our inbound leads, right? And so you said, okay, I need to get better with my messaging. I need to get better with my branding. I need to up my social media, and I don't need to be cold calling, but you're still making calls, but you're calling people that you're attracting. So you're attracting your tribe with more inbound and more of an inbound marketing strategy. Is that fair to say?
Exactly.
Okay. So moving this way, it's safe to say you're making less calls, but you're having more quality, in-depth conversations.
More quality, in-depth conversations, and more trust with when it amazes me when I do speak to me. I just had I will meet when I get a call from someone interested in buying or selling, they already know me, right? Mm-hmm. And I love that. And not only, and that trust is built from the moment, like we've been able to build that trust before we had our first interaction. And it continues because you still have to show up. That's what I tell people. You can't build a wonderful brand on social media and then be a trashy realtor, right? So you still have to show up. You still have to be able to have market knowledge and really you have to exceed the expectation, over deliver. And now what do? Now we build trust with that client. And what do you do when I have a product that I love? I tell everybody about it, right? I went on social media the other day and told you about a fanny pack that I got from Lululemon, and 4 of my clients said they went and ordered the same thing. So that's what happens once we're solid and we, provide trust, and then through the experience, even if there are challenges, and in the market we're living in, it is a very challenging market. But if we can deliver to the client exactly what they need, then what I find is they'll refer me over and over and over. But I still have to love, work, nurture, prospect those opportunities.
I love it. Authenticity is a big part to telling your story and documenting. A lot of people, when I talk about creating content, they're like, how do you create this inbound approach where agents are reaching out to you, clients are reaching out to you, and being able to document your journey, not just put out and publish good content. It's
Yeah.
just being open and authentic, and doing something like, hey, I bought this fanny pack, and feel like I'm from the 80s or 90s again. And then you never know who's going to come back and want to buy it again. Trends come back, right? But just being able to do little things like that, telling your clients stories, telling not just the victories that you have, but the actual defeats that you have.
Yeah.
I had 30 people on a coaching call yesterday, and we're going through victories, and then I got to defeats. Nobody wanted to talk about a defeat, so I said, "Let me tell you guys, I just had a major defeat this week, and how I dealt with it." And then it opened, a whole other line of conversations and defeats, but nobody wanted to talk about it until somebody got vulnerable and they were authentic about it, because
No.
everybody wants to act like they're winning on the internet, right? However, we know in real life not everybody is winning. Like you said, this is the toughest damn market, I've seen in 10 years, right? My 10 years in real estate. So being able to not just tell the victories but tell the defeats, people are going to be attracted to that because it shows that you're human, right? And you're going to attract your tribe off of that, whether they're clients or business partners or whatever. So, all right. So you built the brand, you started telling your story, you started creating leads reaching out to you. The second part that I want to touch on that is a technique of how, we've really built a global team to 1,700 agents that a lot of people don't know this term. It's called tap rooting. And I'm growing geometrically with compounding interest with the team, because I have 25 main partners I started out with to do that with. And it sounds like you're building a raving fans club, and you're getting one sell, but you're actually tap rooting and hopefully getting 3 sales off one, right? Off of their sphere, their network, delivering good service, communication, all of that stuff. And it sounds like you're building up this raving fans club and really building a community of soldiers out there that's going to refer business back to you, it sounds like, right?
Yeah. And I'm grateful for it. You know, and honestly, I do think coming from a place of gratitude, coming from a place of being very, like right now, I'm this is what blows my mind. I was so scared to quit teaching. Now I get to teach agents,
Uh-huh.
and just to be able to really share my story and say, as you see me now, like you remember saying to me, I remember you said, Rosemary, when you get comfortable with the sales part of this business, you're going to be great.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't know what you meant. I was kind of like, that's weird, you know. But what you meant was moving to shifting value, and all of it was a mindset shift. I had it, the tools were available to me, but there's so many agents like I was coming into eXp feeling overwhelmed, feeling defeated, not sure if this is what if I had what it took, because I'm comparing me to everyone else that I see. But
Right.
when I my mindset to giving value and give that value freely, not only am I attracting the most amazing clients, like I pray for a specific type of client, God has exceeded that. So not only do I get to serve the best clients, but now to get to serve agents and say, no, y'all, you can do this, because exactly how you feel. Anytime I teach a masterclass, I show this a screenshot of my bank account when it was like negative $1,100, and my high school son at the time had $40 in the bank, right? And I was like, his $40 was more than we had. My husband and I were both in commission-based fields. We had a family to support. Never went without, but at that moment I felt so defeated and I was ready to quit. And this is when I first got on the team. We're cold calling, we're doing all these things. I felt so uncomfortable, but I had to continue to do those hard things. And I want to help other people say, like, yes, it's not going to be all Skittles and rainbows. Even when you look like how you shared your defeat, even when you look online and it looks like everybody's winning. I always say, Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce. Okay, nobody has a perfect life. But if you keep going, at that moment when I wanted to give up, if I would have just tucked my tail and said, okay, this wasn't for me, a lot of people would have said, you know what, you're right. You need to go back to teaching. But by keeping going, not only have I been able to, grow a business that I love, but think all the families I've been able to help, and now be able to pass that on to agents. And that's going to explode, because now they're going to take the knowledge and support and help more people buy and sell real estate. which is opening and closing a chapter in their lives. It is just so humbling, and it's great. I'm grateful to do it.
I like it. So around the Raving Fans Club, are you gonna? How I coach people is the Raving Fans Club is good, but you want to keep a top 150 people that are actively referring you, and then you want to deposit value back to them, whether it's tickets for the Dallas Cowboys game or to TCU basketball games or whatever is down there in that area where you're communicating effectively with you, but they're out there actually like your sales team, and they know like, okay, Rosemary is a good agent. We believe in her. Like we're in alignment with her values and all of that. But then you're doing drawings or whatever for them for that top 150. But then every 90 days, I coach people have client appreciation parties around like just around whatever seasonality it is, right? Summertime barbecue stuff or
Planning my client appreciation parties right now.
Easter stuff, right? Because the thing about Spear or SOI stuff, as you start tap rooting through like what you have going on, it's hard to have a predictable business off of it, right? And so off the 7 levels of communication, I've learned through building other programs and what we did with our independent brokerage and what I've done for a lot of my other partners or coaching companies, you can have your Raving Fans and your Spear business predictable if you're using marketing dollars and investing back into the people, right? Into your tribe, right? Because branding, telling the story, attraction is good. Tap rooting through, having a good experience, asking for referrals, asking for the business at the closing table. Most agents won't even do that, right? So good job doing that. But then you got to have an actual system to be able to scale that if it's going to be predictable. And so I don't know what your plan looks like going forward. I'd love to be able to help you put that in place if that's where you want to put your marketing dollars back into. Other people can make it with cold calling. Other people like myself, I'm known as an internet marketing guy, generating thousands of internet leads and been converting them at a high level since 2010, 2011, right? 50 ISAs in our network prospecting right now. And so, other people that have like this nurturing approach like you, I think this model is great, but being able to get the systems behind it to make it predictable for you so you can go from that 600% growth to maybe 1,200% growth in the next 3 years or so. So I love it. I think you're doing a fantastic job. I love having strong women in the network, but I love seeing people win. You know what I mean? That $1,100 negative to where you're at now and growing through production, because success attracts success. You like some people come here, they want me to help them build your traditional team out, scale a modern team globally, or they want to be able to take the blueprint of what we're doing, scale off that, or ISA stuff. Like you're like, how do I just sell a house today? Like, right? How do I like get back in the black with my bank account, right? So to hear you say you're doing 6-figure months, some months, and you weren't even making that as a teacher, I'm happy for you, man. I'm blessed to be able to be in alignment with you. Now, you came here to sell more houses, right? You came here to build a brand. You graduated from the team. You've done all these things, and you're going to continuously grow a good business. Like, help me understand what maybe some of the other pieces of the pillar as we hop off here look like. I don't know. I don't even know, how many people are in your RevShare Modern Team Network. I don't know how much stock you've accumulated. Maybe you can shed some light on just some of these extras that have, came along the way with just, aligning with us with eXp and help allowing us to help you grow your business.
No, for sure. So definitely the stock is amazing. So my stock is doing really, really well. And that's definitely something that even when I got started, I would not have been savvy enough to put away a commission every time to grow the stock. So that's always exciting to watch, right? To see how that is growing. In terms of the rev share, I have attracted a good amount of agents kind of organically because I'm not one of those that's all the way out there. But what eXp has allowed me to do is I am shifting to agent education, to educating agents, right? So what I love about eXp as a brokerage within our network and just even expanding is that it's such a giving, sharing model. So I remember like when I was, looking to do a YouTube channel, I literally like Google, like hashtag eXp on YouTube. And there was a young lady in a totally different market. To this day, I don't know who her upline is, but she knew I was an eXp agent. We sat on the phone. She gave me tips and strategy and all that. And, my YouTube channel was up and going a couple of weeks later.
Mhm.
And that's something that has been so beneficial in our brokerage is all of when you have the top of the top, the creme de la creme in the industry all in one place.
Mhm.
And we understand as business owners, even me, if an eXp agent reaches out to me, even if they're not in my quote unquote network, I have an ownership in the company. I'm a shareholder. So I am going to be way more giving and way more forthcoming. And that's something that the business has helped me, our particular brokerage has helped me to grow in our business.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, as we grow, we all have a responsibility to this company. I don't know how many people I help at our masterminds every 90 days that's not in financial alignment with my modern team, or calls that I take, or whatever to help give back. And I really learned that from my upline early on. Watching them get going, because when I was getting going, some of them were just smaller than me right now, and I just watched them operate out of a principle that I 100% believe in, is law of reciprocity: help others and don't really expect anything in return, right? And I like the the opportunity with teaching that you had talked about, right? So whenever you want to start pouring into others, and when you want to start teaching, and when you want to attract your tribe, you can do that at any time, right? A lot of people were like, man, like, it's amazing, what you've rebuilt in 3 years. And a lot of people see me as this outbound guy, and I'm like, I attracted 90% of this.
Yeah.
My vibration that I put out into the universe, that's just the tribe that I attracted back. Good entrepreneurs, very like-minded people, running successful businesses, people doing $100 million dollars a year, scaling big teams, traditional teams, building call centers out. So we've been at this a long time, but I love to see single agents like yourself winning. I love that the opportunity that it provides without a big investment for yourself, but more importantly, you're able to start building equity in EXPI when you're having these 100 grand months, right? And you're able to start building, an exit strategy for yourself that you can cash in, down the road. That's a hell of a lot more lucrative than what you're probably getting as a teacher with your 401k or whatever it was. I don't know. I'm just assuming, right? So
no, your assumption is valid.
right. So what's in the store? I know we're wrapping up the second quarter here in a couple weeks. Like, what's in the store for you the third quarter and the fourth quarter? Maybe help me understand, like, maybe unit wise where you're going to end at. People see the percent of growth, and then maybe we're going to end volume wise, and then what maybe your big, hairy, audacious goal is, ramping into 2022 with the 12-month run rate from today.
Yeah. So my right now I think I just hit. I look at the numbers, 12 million in production for this year. So my goal, I mean, starting the year I wanted 15, but now I'm like, you know what? I want 21 and 21. So I'm definitely on track to do that. Also, I have launched an online digital course, Agent Education Academy. So I am having my second cohort of students. As a matter of fact, registration ends today at 5 p.m. We're going to start our session, and I will launch that one more time at the end of the year.
What's the link to that again?
Agent Education Academy. So if you were, it's agenteducationacademy.com. So Agent Education Academy, or if we're not connected on Instagram, Rosemary the Realtor, it's in my link tree to get you there, to get you signed up. And my husband and I have launched a podcast called Eagle Talk. My husband's also an entrepreneur. He's on the investment wholesaling side of the business. So we actually just had a conversation last night about hosting a mastermind at the end of the year together, because we get great feedback. Our son is also now a wholesaler, so we've become a little real estate family. So that's pretty dope. And then big audacious goal for 2022 is to really grow Agent Education Academy. Production wise, 20 million in production is a good place for me as a single agent to still live my life and up for my family, right? And I had that confused for a while, right? I was like, I gotta get more and more and more, but really figuring out 15 to 20, I can, that's great numbers for me, and I can still show up for my family. But where I want to scale is scaling the coaching, teaching, digital marketing side of the business. So that's where my focus is going to be.
It's already in your DNA. Success attracts success. So I love that. Help me understand that, that's a good number for you to be at. Like, what, like, do you have one admin, one assistant, help, like, maybe help the person watching or listening understand, like, what the back end labor looks like with staff.
So I have one admin who is also my transaction coordinator.
And in-house or a virtual assistant.
You said, do I have a virtual assistant? No, I don't.
They're in-house.
She's virtual. Yeah, she's my niece. So she's my niece, moved here, went through her transaction when I helped her buy a house. And it was just like, you know what, sometimes what you need is right in front of you, right? So I was getting to a point where I knew I needed some help. And because I'm full service, like now she has her mobile notary. So we're closing my clients at my house, things like that. So I just had to take the time to train her, and so that we could be in sync together. So definitely hiring her last year definitely was a game changer for the business. And that's really it. I do have a buyer's agent that within eXp, not a team, but I do have a buyer's agent that loves on our buyers and gets out to show so that I can still have a life.
I like it.
So that's pretty much it.
Well, yeah. So, even building traditional teams or even, the single agents in the network, like it is like more and more and more. But with eXp, there's a way to max out more without doing the same thing, right? Like, yeah. So, even building these traditional teams, the bigger you get, it's harder to manage the margins and the overhead and the management and just everything that goes with it. We were closing over 1,000 houses a year. With a small elite group of people. That's not even our expansion offices. That was here before we moved to eXp. I'm like, you can't pay me to go back and rebuild that way. However, once you get to a certain size as an independent agent, and that's what you want to do, you don't want build traditional teams or whatever. And the same with traditional teams, I tell them, like, cap what you're doing now and take these same systems and put them on the road and show others how to do them. So I love that you said organically agent attraction is going to happen, because all you have to do is demonstrate more leadership or value than what they're currently getting from their broker, their team lead, or whatever. And if you're a single agent doing 15, 20 million with one admin or maybe some other light support, and you're teaching that, and you already have a teaching background and a servant leadership type of mindset, right? Then you're going to be able to grow a modern team without all of the headaches, the time management, and basically plug them into this little Intel chip, which is called eXp, right? Or show them how to set their own brands and build their own brands on top of the platform and allow that to power it up. So I think you're onto something, and so I just want to say congratulations. I just want to get your story out there. I know we're up against maybe 40 minutes. Guys, go check out her academy or whatever. Ends today at 5:00.
Yeah.
How can people connect with you? I know you maybe gave your Instagram handle again or a few minutes.
My email is rosemary@rosemarylewis.com. Instagram, Rosemary the Realtor.
All right. Cool. Well, we're going to be in Dallas in August.
I'll be there. I got my ticket.
We have Tony Robbins coming. However, this is just kind of getting out there. We're going to be running a mastermind maybe the day after the last day at Tierney's house. So hopefully you can be a part of that, or maybe be part of the speaker list, because we're still going to have other people there outside of Dallas that's going to come, and maybe you can talk about your journey and maybe kind of plug some of the things we talked about with what you're doing with tap rooting, your SOI, and all of that stuff as well. I'll get a hold of you guys for that. We'll guys see you guys in 45 days or something like that. So I'm excited to see you and Corey again. Tell Corey I said hi. Appreciate you guys. You got any other words of value?
Nope, that's it, y'all. Just go out there, do it scared. Just do it.
Just do it. That's how we're going to end it. I appreciate you guys. Later.
Bye.